All right, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers here for a little bit. Look, this is a team, we talk about them a lot because on this channel, we like to talk about teams that do things the smart way and set themselves up for success, both in the short term and the long term. And we got some great news out of Pittsburgh about another smart move they made about a young phenom or guy who looks like he could be a phenom. And I think this will be exciting news for Steelers fans.
Yeah, Nick, I think this move that they make is really showing to pay off, and it's been paying off all off season, really. So this story is going to be a big one for Steelers fans, so stay tuned for that one. But Steelers fans, this is it. OTAs are over. Training camp is over. Preseason is over. It's your last chance to get your final season prediction in the comment section below. You've seen all the film you could possibly have. You have all of the information in front of you on the table. So let us know now. What is your record prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season in the comment section below? This is the last one, so let us know in the comments below. But Nick, let's get on into it. What is this latest phenom out of Pittsburgh? Who is it? What are they doing?
Yeah, so before I get into that report, I think it's important to understand there are really three goals of every preseason and training camp for every single team. One, are there any position battles for starting roster for the starting group in the roster? Number two, are there any players who are or not going to make the roster? Figure out who your final 10, 15 guys, and obviously you're going to have to cut the rest. Number three, though, this is something that kind of slides under the radar. Figure out what among developing players that are getting better and better, what packages, what are their snaps are going to play during the regular season, guys who aren't necessarily ready to be starters, but are impact players and need to get playing time and figuring out what it needs to be. Well, there's one guy in particular we're talking about, of course, phenom young pass rusher, Nick Herbig, who has an incredible preseason, and the Steelers are making a really smart move in terms of setting himself up for success for the regular season. We've got a report from All Steelers Mize. If you want to throw it up, I will read from it. All right, defensive coordinator Terrell Austin has been impressed, obviously, with Herbig so far and thinks that even with the limited snap count, he can be an impact player. Austin said his skills as a run defender are coming along, but still good enough that Herbig can't be targeted by opposing defenses. That means he'll be able to make an outsized impact upon a smaller snap count. There'll be reps, Austin said, and no matter how many he gets, I think he'll do something with them. Even if he's a 10, 15, 20 play guy, then I think he'll do a great job with them. All right, so obviously I know a lot of Steelers fans are like, well, yeah, he had a good preseason. Of course he should get some reps. You don't understand that as simple as this is and as easy it is, it really doesn't happen that much as you think it should happen in terms of the NFL. I'll give you a great example. So the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago drafted Micah Parsons. And of course, Parsons, incredible athlete, dominated as a pass rusher during training camp and preseason with the Dallas Cowboys. But he was drafted as an off-ball linebacker out of Penn State. So week one of the regular season, what did the Cowboys do with Micah Parsons? They put him at off-ball linebacker the entire game. It wasn't until week two, due to numerous injuries, that they had to move Parsons to the edge as a pass rusher. He did well, and the rest, of course, is history. A lot of teams tend to screw this up. They have a good player with a set of skills to be an impact guy, but they don't put him in situations to be successful. Understanding that Herbig right now could be a potential monster pass rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers in situations, I think is a great understanding of what he's got here in Terrell Austin. And look, you talk about that 10, 15 reps that he mentioned there, the 20 reps potentially a game. If you look at the average number of third downs per game, it's between 11 and 15. So I'm kind of looking at that information and look at what Austin said here and said, okay, he sees Herbig as maybe a third pass rusher on third down situations, maybe spelling a Highsmith, maybe spelling a Watt in 2-minute situations as well as a situation persists. I think this is a great job by the Pittsburgh Steelers, knowing that they have a guy who right now could be a top flight pass rusher for them and preparing right now, because now's when you got to do it. When the regular season starts, you get into game plan mode. These packages, these snap counts, these things kind of fall by the wayside. Right now, understanding, okay, we need to plan to give him 10, 15 reps a game as a pass rusher. I think it's a great move by the Pittsburgh Steelers here. But Miles, let me throw it over to you. What are your thoughts involving Herbig, the Steelers, and just everything with this football team right now?
Yeah, Nick, I think Nick Herbig is doing really, really well. I think he's looking really good. But I think a key point for me that I hear is you have Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, two of probably the most elite pass rushers, probably the best pass rushing tandem in the NFL right now. And you're saying that this guy is worthy of taking some snaps away from them? Not like he's taking away, it's probably, like you said, spelling them for a case. But that is big for this guy coming into the league. That shows tremendous talent. And I think this guy has already shown a lot of prowess as a pass rush specialist. But I think the other thing that really touches for me is that they're already talking about this guy. He's developing to be more than the pass rush specialist. He's working on the run game. They've said, he's not going to be just that kind of guy. He has a skill set to where he can be a very well-rounded player. Although he is already an animal at the pass rush game, they see more for this guy. So it should be a guy to watch for the future for that, 10, 11, 15 reps, as you say, for third downs and stuff like that, to turn into 20, 30, 40 snaps in a game as the years go on. This guy could be one of the future pass rushers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because when those Alex Highsmith contracts come around, you don't always like to pay him. So you got to look at a guy like Herbig, who could be the future for this team. But everyone's already paid for the Steelers, so they're looking good going on now. But I really like Herbig. I like what this team is, and they're just looking absolutely lethal. This looks like the Philadelphia Eagles interior defensive line, but the Steelers have with pass rushers. There's too many guys out there to get all of the talent onto the field. We know the Philadelphia Eagles got like 5 or 6 good interior D linemen. Steelers got like 3, 4 good pass rushers. This is going to be a team you don't want to see on third down.
Oh, minus. I don't think you're going to want to see this team on defense in any situation. Like when I was looking at the Steelers depth chart, how it all shaked out before we did this video, I was blown away because let me give you some names here. Keanu Neal, veteran, smart, savvy playmaker. Patrick Peterson, top flight corner, smart guy, key veteran, very experienced. Quan Alexander, great, savvy veteran linebacker. Marcus Golden, really talented guy, good potential pass rusher as well. That's a good group of guys right there. And those are the backups. That's the second string. This defense is as deep and as talented as any in the NFL. And look, all preseason, for a lot of good reason, we've talked about Kenny Pickett and how he's looked, and he's looked great. Talked about Pickens, how he's looked great. How about Austin potentially emerging as a big-time playmaker for this offense? A lot of focus has been on the Pittsburgh offense, and frankly, rightly so. But this defense, this isn't just a playoff caliber defense. This is a top 3, top 4 elite level defense that they have right now. And it's so deep, it's young, it has a good mixture of youth, it has a good mixture of experience at all 3 levels of the defense. A lot of people are talking about the Chiefs and the Bills, and rightly so, and the Jets, the Dolphins. Of course, we hear about the Bengals, the Ravens with the new offense, the Browns potentially may finally not be the Cleveland Browns anymore. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially on the defensive side of the ball, are getting quite enough credit because they are absolutely stacked. And they should be, in my opinion, and I think, frankly, anyone who's been following the NFL closely this offseason, they should be one of the top contenders, potentially not just in the AFC North, but in the entire AFC.